Defense, manually, automatically, and out at first, scored 6-3. Center fielder Devon White climbs the wall, makes the grab. In football, Darryl Green with a one-handed catch and a beauty. And don't you hate when this happens? The bat flies, almost nails the runner, and the go-ahead run scores. Speaking of which, you can take an eye out here.
Record numbers, 4,000,001. The magic numbers as the Blue Jays take on the Angels. Next on TSN.
Labatt's Blue Jays Baseball on TSN. Brought to you by Labatt's Blue. Now you're laughing. And by Esso Associates and Imperial Oil. You're on your way with Esso. And by your local bottler of Coca-Cola Classic. You can't beat the real thing.
It's an historic night at Skydome as the Toronto Blue Jays try and clinch the East in front of their 4 millionth fan. As the players get set inside, it's a festive move outside of Skydome. Hello, I'm Jim Houston with Buck Martinez. We're pleased to be a part of this night of the 4 millionth fan. Glad you could be a part of it, too. Who could have imagined on April 7th, 1977, in that snow-covered game down by the lake, that in '91 the Blue Jays would be playing for a championship under a retractable dome with their 4 millionth fan watching? It's an incredible success story. What's the secret?
Jim, there's no magic to it. They put a good product on the field, and the fans want to see it. The Blue Jays have been very successful on the field. They've got a good ball club, and once again, they're competing for a championship, and that's why they draw on 4 million people.
Let's put this 4 million fan business into perspective. There were many years in the early days of the American League when the whole league didn't draw 4 million fans, and the state-of-the-art franchise, I guess, has been the Dodgers, and in Southern California, they've only been able to get to 3.6 million.
Well, there's a lot of pride surrounding the Toronto Blue Jays, and it's national pride because people in Canada think this is their national team. Blue Jays done a great job of marketing, but it still gets back to that bottom line. You got to have a winning baseball club.
There's the makings of a big party inside, and I'm going to get in to be a big part of it. I've got a ticket, so I'll see you inside.
All right,
now,
I need to pick mine up. Hey, buddy, you going to be long? Hey, Paul. What's up?
I had tickets left for me by Buck Martinez, and they're not here.
They're not there. They should
Once
be.
again.
Well, let me tell you, what did you feel like? 4 million fans. Did you think you'd ever accomplish that?
Well, I never thought we'd do it, Buck, but, you know, we set out at the beginning of the year, and Bob Nicholson, Markle, and their group used that as a goal. I think they've achieved it as of tonight, and I think they're all very proud, and they should be.
Well, they certainly should. Where do you go from here? How do you top this?
Well, I think we can only top it by going a little bit further this year. I mean, we can add a few more games at the end of the season. We got a couple in the playoffs, a couple in the World Series, and it would be a wonderful conclusion.
Inside, on the mound, Tom Candiotti and his knuckleball go up against right-hander Joe Gray of the California Angels. This is Labatt's Blue Jays Baseball on TSN.
Is he there, please? Yes, this is David Watson, W-A-T-S-O-N, 555-1167. It's very important. So, ladies, can I buy you a beverage? Excuse me. Watson. Brunette? Yeah, it's for you.
Hello? Oh, hi.
Can we buy you a blue?
A blue? Sure. No, we'd rather come down there.
Great.
Quality control test. Nothing is left to chance. Quality is too important. From the first test to the last stop.
At Esso, you can count on all of us for the quality of our products.
I hear you looking. We're thinking about it. We're listening. You're in. I'll think about it.
You are watching history unfold. The Government of Canada has presented proposals for constitutional reform to Parliament. These proposals are now being studied by a special joint parliamentary committee. We invite you to take part in the process. It's your country. It's your right. Call 1-800-561-1188. Shaping Canada's future together.
The California Angels and the Toronto Blue Jays on a night when the Jays could clinch, and you can feel the excitement at Skydome. They're waving the souvenir T-shirts from the night of the 4 millionth fan. And by the time this game is over, they'll likely rival the Homer Hankies of Minnesota.
4 million fans, and that T-shirt says, "I was there October 2nd to be a part of it."
And so is Tom Candiotti from Cleveland to the clincher. Big night for Candiotti, the 34-year-old knuckleballer who gets to sew up this division crown, or try to, for the Toronto Blue Jays against Buck Rogers' California Angels. Last in the West, 16.5 games back of Minnesota, playing their final road game of the season. Tonight's lineup is brought to you by John Deere Limited, makers of lawn and garden equipment you can rely on. A similar lineup to last night's that the Blue Jays beat 5-2, but the Angels still sorely miss Wally Joyner and his 21 homers, 96 RBIs. He's still out with a bad ankle. Winfield's the big RBI man in the lineup. John Orton is catching tonight, and Kevin Flores, a newcomer playing at second base, up from Double-A.
When you find something in life that works as well or lasts as long as a John Deere lawn and garden tractor, buy it.
Tom Candiotti on the mound, making his 19th start as a Blue Jay.
Well, he's had 2 bad outings in a row. Couldn't get out of the first inning against the Angels in California. And first of a 3-game set. Last time out, he just appeared to be getting in the groove when he was spiked at first base, covering the bag on a bobbled ground ball to John Oldroot. It'll be interesting to watch and very important for the Blue Jays to see how stable Candiotti's right foot is under that weight of his delivery, because he's got stitches in there, he's run on it, and it's going to be a very trying and testing outing for him. Defensively, Maldonado, White, and Carter in the outfield. Gerberly, Alomar, and Oldroot on the infield, and Borders continues to catch. He's calling a good game, doing a nice job throwing runners out, so he gets the call to handle Candiotti tonight.
It's the right ankle of Tom Candiotti's that was spiked by Brian Harper of the Minnesota Twins on Saturday. Worked on Monday, said he felt fine, and he's starting tonight against Luis Polonia, the leadoff hitter for the California Angels, whose challenge tonight is to get out of town and go home for their final 3 games without allowing the Blue Jays to celebrate. That's their plan. It's 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Candiotti to Polonia, leadoff hitter and the best base runner on the team. 48 stolen base. Ground ball foul. 2 balls and a strike to Polonia. Hasn't been very successful trying to steal against the Blue Jays in the last 2 series.
Our Borders was really on a roll throwing. Nice and patient, finally gotten confident at this late stage of the season.
2-1 is sliced to left field, foul into the seats. Nice catch. The Blue Jays don't need help from the Tigers tonight, but we'll still be watching closely to see what happens at Fenway Park as the second place Red Sox send Joe Hesketh to the mound against Walt Terrell of the Tigers. The game just getting underway as well. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Luis Polonia. Fouled away. Candiotti sometimes throws a lot of pitches in the first couple of innings. He's been known to walk a few in the first couple, maybe give up the odd hit as he tries to find the A knuckleball. Ground ball, Candiotti can't get it. Alomar speeds over just in time to get Polonia.
Alomar knew he had to hurry this throw. Watch how quickly he unloads it. On the run, throws the strike to Olerud, just a half a step ahead of Louis Polonia for the first out. Candiotti was a bit sluggish getting off the mound as a result of that spike wound. So the right side of the infield will have to cover up for Candiotti. Anything hit on that side.
Number 2 hitter is Max Venable. Right fielder against Candiotti. Had a big hit in the inning that Candiotti lasted against California. He had a 3-run double, and that spelled the end of the night for Candiotti, who lasted 2/3 of an inning a week ago Monday in Anaheim. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fouled back, a ball and 2 strikes.
This is Candiotti's delivery. The right foot is the one that has the spike wound, and that's the one that pushes off. It has to be strong enough to get him out over that front leg so he stays balanced, and that was a pretty good delivery right there.
Here's his 1-2 pitch to Venable. Bounces away from Borders. In fact, I think it hit Ken Kaiser, the home plate umpire, and bounced to the backstop. Well, that gives us an opportunity to introduce Ken as the home plate umpire tonight. Jim McKean, the crew chief, working at first. Vic Voltaggio at second, and Jim Joyce at third. One away, top of the first inning. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Max Venable, the right fielder. Candiotti's 2-2 pitch. Knuckleball hit for a base hit to right center field. Over to cut it off is Devon White. He can't get it. Venable on the run. Carter gets to the ball and throws it into Alomar as Venable reaches third. It's a 1-out triple for Max Venable.
Max Venable has Candiotti's number. He hit him hard in California and starts things off for the Angels with this triple. It just bounds over Devon White's glove. He was trying to cut it out. He was conscious that Venable was going to try to go to second, so he tried to cut it off and was going to turn and fire to second, but the ball got over his glove. Venable has a triple with 1 out. That'll cause the infield to come in, try to cut the run off the plate.
Great opportunity for the Angels to get out front of the Toronto Blue Jays, and a former Blue Jay, Junior Felix, is at the plate. Season full of injuries, kept his numbers down to a home run and 25 RBIs. Up here with 1 out and a man on third base. And it's strike 1 to Junior. Just got a piece of that, but it's strike 2.
It's always taken Candiotti a couple of innings before he really settles in with that good dancing knuckleball. It's a touch pitch, and it takes him 15, 20 pitches before he really gets comfortable that that particular release point is going to work consistently for him all night.
It's worked most nights. He's second in the league in earned run average. Until recently, he was first. Throw down to third. Very close play. Borders unloaded in a hurry, and Venable was surprised, but he got back.
Great play, and that shows you how confident Pat Borders is in his catching these days. He thought he had Venable far enough off the bag. He puts the pickoff play on with Gruber, but Venable alertly gets back inside the line. Good try, boy. You get that guy with 1 out. Big out there at third.
Pitch was a ball. Alomar coming home. Borders blocks the plate, knocks him down. He's out. Infield in. Alomar came home, and Borders made a fine play.
And look at the position of Borders. He knows he's going to get a jolt from Venable. He dished 1 out last night to Tingley, but this time he's got to take it. But look at his position. He toughens up, throws his shoulder into Venable, and man, what a collision at home plate. But they shoot down the first Angel opportunity with a good throw and a good play by Pat Borders. Good position, and he knows it's going to be a collision.
What a body check. So 2 out and a man on first. A big play by Pat Borders, and there's still no score. Venable cut down at the plate. Really cut down. Dave Winfield is at the plate with Junior Felix aboard.
Venable's a pretty stout little guy himself, and he knew that he was going on contact. That was the contact play. As soon as the hitter makes contact, you break for home. Even though the infield was in, Buck Rogers wanting to get out in front of Candiotti, get that first inning run on the board. The Borders put a roadblock up.
Counts a ball and a strike to Winfield. He's hit 3 of those 27 home runs here at Skydome this year, including one last night in the 9th off Jim Acker. Ball and 2 strikes. Winfield in Skydome this year is hitting .444 with 3 homers and 12 RBIs. He's been the best Angel against the Blue Jays this year. Felix is running. Winfield puts the ball on the ground. Alomar over to get it. That retires the side. They get a man to third, but he was cut down at the plate, and it's Joe Gray to work against the Toronto Blue Jays next in the bottom of the first. This is Labatt's Blue Jays Baseball on TSN.
For a name in electronics that works as hard and plays as hard as you, you're looking for Hitachi, for exceptional performance.
Everybody's making a big deal about value these days. And here's a deal that really is big. Swiss Chalet's Big Meal Deal. $5.95 gets you our juicy quarter chicken, sauce, toasted roll with fries or baked potato. Plus, you get a choice: soup, salad, or pie. All this for $5.95. You know, I haven't seen value like this since I was a young...
Yeah.
Well, let's just say for a while.
Swiss Chalet, oh, so good for so little.
Well, as you can see, Goodyear does great tune-ups. And, bulletin coming in here. The Goodyear tire sale is on now. Save up to 35% on selected all-season radial tires. Well, yeah, we have tires, sure, as well as tune-ups. What well-rounded organization doesn't, huh? So remember, Goodyear, we're not just tune-ups. I've completely lost all my credibility, haven't I? Sorry.
Just as they did last night, tonight the Blue Jays see another young pitcher vying for a spot in the Angels rotation for next year. It's 24-year-old Joe Gray. He's up against Cito Gaston's Toronto Blue Jays. They can clinch with their 89th win if they get it tonight. Tonight's lineup is brought to you by John Deere Limited, makers of lawn and garden equipment you can rely on. Same lineup that won number 87 last night. The Jays are 7th in the league in hitting, 10th in runs, 8th in home runs, but first in the East. Manny Lee shaken up last night, but he's back in tonight.
Joe Gray has a good moving fastball and a hard breaking pitch. He needs to add some sort of off-speed pitch to make him much more effective. But he, like so many young pitchers, is now just realizing you don't have to be perfect every game to be successful in the big leagues.
Devon White leading off as usual. Strike 1 from Gray. White 0 for 6 in this series, and now 0-2 against Gray. Angels won the first game 2-1. The Blue Jays bounced back and won 5-2 last night. Check swing by White, a ball and 2 strikes. One-two from Gray. Inside. Broken bat, a comebacker, and White's out. In Boston tonight, Joe Hesketh, the starting pitcher for the Red Sox, has thrown a wild pitch that allowed Skeeter Barnes to score 1-0 for the Tigers in the first inning against the Red Sox. They'll have Walt Terrell pitching tonight. Atlanta Braves are having an amazing season, but they can't get the Dodgers to lose right now. Great comeback last night, but the Dodgers won, so it's still L.A. by 1. In the National League West, Belcher against Greg Harris, L.A. and San Diego tonight. It's Tom Glavine looking for his 20th win for Atlanta tonight against Scott Scudder of the Cincinnati Reds. One away here, and Roberto Alomar is up. Bottom of the first, no score. 1 ball, 1 strike.
This is the first time the Blue Jays have faced Joe Gray, so it's going to take them a while to pick up on his moving fastball. Just see how much movement it has.
Fouled away by Alomar. Ball and 2 strikes.
Behind Gray in the outfield, Colonia, Felix, and Venable. Good speed, but not the best of outfielders. Gaetti Schofield on the left side. Kevin Flora gets the start at second base. Lee Stevens returns to first base, and John Orton catching tonight. Ron Tingley had to leave last night's game after a collision with Pat Borders.
Lance Parrish sits out while Buck Rogers has a close look at Tingley and John Orton, candidates to be on the team next season. Ball and 2 strikes as Alomar fouled another pitch off. 3 for 5 last night against the Angels. Just got a piece of the 1-2 pitch. He stays alive. Cito Gaston just back last Friday night. Team won 2 of 3 from Minnesota. Win 2 of 3 against the Angels, and they'll be the champions in the East for it. Evan Flora just made the play to first to Stevens in time to get Alomar 2 away.
Flora's another young player up from the minor leagues that Buck Rogers wants to have a look at before he shuts her down for the winter so they can evaluate an awful lot of talent in their organization. Remember, Buck Rogers just taking over, working with new general manager Whitey Herzog. Have a lot of decisions to make before the winter meetings.
Here's Joe Carter. Strike 1 from Joe Gray. Carter's 3 for 8 in this series, and an extra base hit last night, his first in 11 games. In tight, a ball and a strike. Two out and nobody on. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Up and in, fouled off. A ball and 2 strikes.
Gray's got good movement on that fastball that he's running it in on Carter's hands, tying him up with it. First time around, it'll take the Blue Jay hitters a while before they get a good read on the velocity.
Carter's out. That's all for the Blue Jays. They go 1-2-3 to Joe Gray in the first. This is Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN.
What do you think you'd get in a 1992 Ford Tempo and Mercury Topaz?
I should know this.
Probably a manual transmission. Anything else? The 1992 Ford Tempo and Mercury Topaz. Now even more value for the money. The result of positive thinking.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
People always ask me, Dave, what's your favorite sandwich?
Introducing Dave's Favorites. 6 great tastes available every day at Wendy's.
Well, I love our barbecue bacon Swiss burger. And I love our bacon mushroom melt. And our spicy Cajun is a real hot one. Of course, I also love our chicken cordon bleu. And our chicken Santa Fe. And my new teriyaki grilled chicken is really special. Everybody's got their favorite. I happen to have 6.
Try the lineup of Dave's Favorites. New at Wendy's.
Fruit, cause the king bee gets the honey.
With Delta Hotel's free privilege program, you could check in or out of any Delta hotel or resort in about the time it takes to watch this commercial. Join Delta Privilege today. You'll appreciate the Delta difference.
At Skydome in Toronto, the Blue Jays' magic number is 1. A win, and they're in against the Twins in the American League Championship Series. Failing that, a Boston loss would put them in. Tom Candiotti set to work here. Jolie Stevens, big first baseman who's been filling in for Wally Joyner. Joyner's missed the last couple of series, and this is a team that ranks 13th in the league in run scoring and can ill afford not to have Joyner in the lineup. I think they're really finding out over the past couple of weeks how important it is that they sign Wally, who's a free agent at the end of this season. 1 strike to Stevens on the foul ball. Boston has come back to tie Detroit 1-1. Bottom of the first inning. And Atlanta has built a 4-0 lead over Cincinnati in the first for Tom Glavine, looking for his 20th win. 0-2 now to Stevens.
Stevens is hampered by a wrist injury, a right wrist he injured diving for a ball against the Texas Rangers. Heavily taped. He's just not taking his normal swing.
One ball and 2 strikes to lead Stevens, who struck out 3 times and walked once last night. Here's the 1-2 from Candiotti. Fly ball left field. Candy Maldonado makes the catch, 1 away. There are a few players around the league who have seen enough of Candiotti and for some reason have an ability to hit his knuckleball. And Gary Gaetti, who's at the plate now, is one of them. He's had a lot of at-bats over the years against Candiotti. Hits .350 against him. And he's hit 4 home runs off of him. He's one of the few players in this lineup had a reasonable amount of success against Candiotti over the years.
You know, Jimmy, you point that out. Gary Gaetti, of course, spent most of his career with the Minnesota Twins, and the Twins, as a team, hit Tom Candiotti pretty well.
1 ball and 1 strike.
The reason I think Candiotti has trouble against the Twins team is because they've got a bunch of guys that are really kind of sweep hitters. Not real quick bats, but they like to extend out over the plate, and they can time that knuckleball pretty well.
Ground ball for the third baseman, Gruber. Corner to corner. Gaetti's out, 2 away. Two away, and Candiotti seems to have a little better feel in the second inning for the knuckleball than he had in the first as he gets set to face Dick Schofield. What a thrilling night this must be for Tom Candiotti to pitch in this facility, jammed to the rafters, 4 millionth fan, a chance to clinch. He was with the Cleveland Indians. Ball 1 to Dick Schofield. In Cleveland last night, 4,346 watched as Milwaukee played the Indians. 70,137 empty seats. There's a base hit for Schofield. Maldonado over to cut it off as Schofield rounds first on his way to second. A stand-up double with 2 out. He could have been there last night, 32.5 up, out. Instead, he's pitching here.
And Schofield hits a pretty good knuckleball. He was out in front of it, but keeps it fair down the left field line. 2 out double, keeps hitting alive. Maldonado gets it back to the infield. But now Candiotti's faced with a runner at second base and John Orton at the plate.
Runner in scoring position for the second time. 2 out here, and the catcher Orton. The .230 hitter is up. Ball 1. Backhanded by Manny Lee, guns it to first in time to get Orton. That's all for the Angels in the second. They got a hit, but Candiotti stranded a man at second. This is Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN.
Power.
Totally awesome. Wow. I pushed it to the limit. I mean, I didn't have to worry. The car held me there. Just the control. It goes where you want it to go. Wow, this car really gave me an adventure today.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. It's handling fabulously. Slip into and you're part of the car. Felt great. Oh, it handles a heck of a lot better than mine. I want to do this again. Let's get back in. Come on.
What some people won't do for the most refreshing taste on earth. Always keep plenty of Coca-Cola Classic on ice. You never know who'll drop in.
Imagine visiting yourself in the future.
Hey! Still in the rat race? Hey, you're me. At 55. We look pretty good. Oh, retirement agrees with me. Retirement? How can we afford that? Freedom 55.
London Life's Freedom 55. Protection today, plus a financial plan that works, so one day you won't have to. Freedom 55, only from your London Life representative.
So, when did we start jogging? Right after the twins arrived. Twins?
Tom Henke was tossing the ball around out on the field before the game, and he was really optimistic. Today was a big day for him because he finally got a chance to throw off the mound. I asked him before the game how it went.
It went really well, Buck. A lot better than I thought. I threw without any significant pain. I still got a little dull achiness in my shoulder, but I don't think I'll get rid of that until I can rest for a longer period of time in the off season. But it was a big step towards getting back, and hopefully we can clinch this thing tonight and I can get into a couple games in Minnesota.
He must have had a good day out on the mound, working for 20 minutes, throwing to Hector Torres, because he was really upbeat when he came back in. So for the Blue Jays, it's really important that they clinch tonight so that he can work in a couple of games on the weekend with the championship not on the line, find out if he's ready for game action. Gruber hits a foul ball into the seats.
Well, Henke hasn't pitched since the 17th of September in Seattle, so they would certainly like to see him working a ball game off of the mound. The stuff was good today. It will be a matter of how he rebounds tomorrow after the extended work period.
Changeup. An important pitch for Joe Gray. And he has Gruber 0-2 after Olerud grounded out to the shortstop, Dick Schofield. So one away and nobody on here in a scoreless game, bottom of the second inning. 4 straight retired by Joe Gray. Here's his 0-2 to Gruber. Another play for Schofield. He makes it 2 away. If Henke's able to pitch on the weekend, it does a couple of things for the Blue Jays. Not only are they able to find out if he's going to be able to contribute in the championship series, but if he's okay, gives the Twins something to think about. Even if Henke's not used as a closer in the championship series, if his arm is sound, then Tom Kelly's got to think about him being in the bullpen in the ALCS.
Boy, it sure does. And he'll get to see just how sound Henke is if he works Friday and Sunday like the Blue Jays project. But they could certainly use his arm back in the bullpen, even if he's 80%.
And he is quite willing to do anything. He said, I'm sure they're going to use Dwayne Ward as the closer. I just want to be a part of this. I don't care where they use me, 6th, 7th. Let me do anything. I'll pitch in 10-0 game. I just want to be in it. Ball and a strike to Candy Maldonado. Two balls and 1 strike. 2 away, nobody on, second inning. Just foul. Boston and Detroit. Hesketh and Terrell have moved to the second inning. Still in the first. Braves hammering the Cincinnati Reds 6-0, trailing the Dodgers by a game in the National League West. Breaking ball gets Candy Maldonado. 3 up and 3 down again for Joe Gray. 6 straight. He's retired. Will move to the 3rd. This is Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN.
Having a mortgage shouldn't make you feel trapped. You need a mortgage with flexibility.
Buying a home is one of the most exciting times in your life. And with the right mortgage options, it just keeps getting better.
I can usually pre-approve your CIBC FlexiPlan mortgage, offer you terms from 6 months, and even show you how to pay it off years sooner.
Well, let's face it, the best mortgage is the one that's paid off. And my job is to help you get there sooner.
Get us working for you, CIBC.
You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball, coming to you from Skydome, the world's greatest entertainment center. Jam-packed tonight as the Blue Jays play their final home game of the regular season and try and nail down the championship in the American League East. Tom Candiotti on the mound, working to the number 9 hitter Kevin Flora, the second baseman. Flora's had just 6 at-bats in the big leagues, up from Double-A ball. 2 balls, no strikes. He's only 22 years old. He can run, and Buck Rogers likes that, but he's got to get on. And he's close to that at 3-0. Took a strike, 3-1. Ball 4 and Flores aboard. The leadoff man is on base. 3rd inning. No score in the game. And the top of the order, Polonia up.
This is the pitch that Flora walked on. Looked like it might have got the outside corner. But leadoff walk for Flora. Remember, he's got good speed. Candiotti will have to make sure he stops him at first base.
That's the first walk of the night for Candiotti. Polonia grounded out in the first. Strike 1.
Flores stole 40 bases at Midland this year.
Candiotti's moved to first. Flora diving back in safely. Pat Borders has been very good at throwing out potential thieves in recent days.
I think what happened to Pat early in the year, he was in such a hitting slump. He took that slump with him behind the plate, and it caused him problems defensively.
1 strike pitch. Pitch out. Flores back.
Pat has always been a good offensive player and never really been a real strong defensive player, to the type of player that knows he can contribute even when he doesn't hit. Pat thinks he has to hit to contribute. I think he's learned differently in the second half of this season.
1 ball, 1 strike. Fouled away by Polonia. Ball and 2 strikes. Compounding the problems for Borders early in the season were a lack of left-handers pitching against the Blue Jays, so he wasn't getting a lot of action to try and work his way out of the slump at the plate. And the fact that Greg Myers was playing so well. He's hitting, knocking in runs, and the pitchers were doing well with Myers catching. Flora back in again. Ball and 2 strikes on Polonia at the plate. Nobody out and a man on. No score in the game in the 3rd inning. One, 2. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Luis Polonia.
It's a pretty good count right here for Buck Rogers to start the runner. Candiati, should he get the strikeout with a knuckleball, it'll be a tough pitch for Borders to handle.
There goes Flora. Pitch is fouled off.
Flora had seen Candiati's move to first base 4 times, so he gets a good read on him right here. As soon as he picks up that front leg, he gets a nice, good jump, head down, straight steal all the way. Bruce Hines helping him out with the signs, making sure there's no confusion. He was just recalled the 25th of September after Luis Sojo had the accident with a knife in the clubhouse. He's gone for the rest of the year.
He's running. Borders with the throw. Not in time. The first Major League stolen base for Kevin Flora. Pitch was a ball. The count is full to the batter, Polonia.
The thing you have to remember trying to throw out a runner with Candiati on the mound is not rush the throw. Don't make a bad throw and compound an already bad situation with the stolen base. The throw is just late. It was a high pitch. Borders makes a strong throw, but Flora got a good jump.
Ground ball. Alomar gets Polonia as Flora moves to third base with 1 out. Ground ball to the right side by Polonia moved the runner to third base. And Buck Rogers likes that kind of baseball.
He loves a hitter to advance a runner with an out. He likes that so-called National League style of ball. Stolen base, infield out, ground ball, anything. Give me a run. I don't care how you do it. We're going to emphasize runs, pitching, and defense. We got a good foundation with the pitching staff. Now we got to learn how to manufacture runs.
Here's a situation that Candiati faced in the first inning. Man on third with 1 out. Max Venable, who was on third and cut down at the plate, now gets a chance to drive a run home. 1 strike on the foul ball.
This is where Borders is really on guard. Candiati's throwing that knuckleball. You got a runner at third base. You got to make sure you keep it in front of you.
Infield's in. Fly ball, center field. Flora back to tag. Devon White makes the catch. He'll tag and score easily, and the Angels have the lead 1-0 on a sacrifice fly by Max Venable, who picks up his 20th RBI of the season.
Venable was a pain in Candiati's side in California. That first inning triple he got, drove in 3 runs.
He had 3 hits that night, 3 RBIs. Only one of those hits, of course, came off Candiati. He was out of the game early, but tonight he's got a triple, has driven in a run with a sacrifice fly. Kevin Flora has his first Major League stolen base and his first Major League run scored. Angels out in front, and the count is 2-0 to Junior Felix. He grounded into the force out at home, not the force out, but the play at home plate. Grounded to Alomar, who came home, and Borders cut down Venable in the first. 2 balls and a strike now to Felix. Right into into the glove of Kelly Gruber. A liner to third base, and that's all for the Angels, but they got one without a hit. This is Labatt's Blue Jays Baseball on TSN.
La 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 la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la. Bet you never thought we'd do La Jingle for Labatt. Dry. Here's how to play baseball in La Bar. You get La Pitcher, you get La Catcher, and then you get La Bat. Dry. Stick around for La Doubleheader.
What do you think you'd find in the all-new Escort LXE?
Tricky question. Little engine that couldn't.
Ever been behind the wheel of the new Escort LXE?
Sounds scary. Well, no, but...
The all-new Escort LXE. The results are positive thinking.
It is definitely.
Hi, I'm Martin Short, and you remember Sparkle? We're here at Black's to illustrate the only way to stop photo finishing chemicals from going down the drain. Black System Crystal, please. When you ask for Black's exclusive System Crystal, you receive Black's big, beautiful prints and the protective purity water at no extra charge. If you'd like more details, ask for this brochure. All right, sing it, Spark. Remember? Black's is forgotten. How we rehearsed it?
Angels have scored first and lead the Toronto Blue Jays 1-0. A run in the third without the aid of a hit. A walk, stolen base, ground ball to the right side, and a sacrifice. And Cito Gaston's team behind Joe Gray and the Angels 1-0. Joe Gray's had it easier than Tom Candiotti so far. He's retired the side twice in order as the Blue Jays have their first look at him. Ball one to Dave Parker. Fouled off, 1-1. Gray, a second-round pick in '89, is just a second-year professional. One ball, one strike. Cold foul, a ball and two strikes.
Gray came out of the University of Miami. At Edmonton this year, he was 9-3. Made 14 starts down there. Not to reduce the number of hits he allows. Good changeup. Parker's nodding. Yep, good pitch.
Following tonight's game, we'll select the Labatt's Blue Player of the Game for the Blue Jays on behalf of Canon's Futura. Hold the future of photography in your hands. The sophisticated new approach in camera design combines a full range of auto operation features that ensure everyone will enjoy using the Futura. A cash donation will be made to the Canadian Special Olympics on behalf of the Blue Jays Player of the Game and Canon. Pat Borders is up. Ball one from Joe Gray, one away, bottom of the third inning. 1-0 for the Angels. Two 2-0 now as Borders checked his swing. This is the 11th straight game for Pat Borders, playing no matter whether there's a right-hander or a left-hander on the mound. 2-0, ground ball. Gaetti gets his timing right, guns it over to first in time to get Borders two away.
Blue Jays have yet to get one in the air off Joe Gray. He's got that good sinking fastball working bottom of the strike zone.
He's had, well, I guess an above average, just above average fastball, but has needed a changeup, and he's used it a couple of times effectively tonight. Manny Lee's up. Left the ball game last night after a collision with Gary DiSarcina at first base. He sacrificed himself literally last night. Down the bunt, running down to first. He was in a collision and left the game. Back in tonight, and it's 0-2 Gray works effectively here. Inside, a ball and 2 strikes.
DiSarcina was playing second base last night when Manny Lee put that bunt down. He's a natural shortstop and had the timing a little bit off. He was late covering the bag.
Inside pitch fouled off by Lee, 1-2.
DiSarcina reached for the high throw, and Manny Lee got there at the same time the ball did, and there was a big pile at first base.
Here's the 1-2 from Joe Gray. Up high, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Got him with that sinker. And that's all for the Blue Jays in the third. 3 up and 3 down again. 9 straight retired by Joe Gray. This is Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN. Now from our control center in Toronto, a TSN update with Chris Sedens.
This sports update is brought to you by Suzuki, makers of Swift, Samurai, and Sidekick.
Thank you, Jim. We'll send you back to the Sky Dome in just a moment. First, the Boston Red Sox in action tonight at Fenway Park against the Detroit Tigers. Of course, Boston in dire need of a win tonight. Tigers get on the board first, top of the first inning. Joe Hesketh unloads a wild pitch. Skeeter Barnes tries to sneak in from the 30, just beats the tag, and with that, it's 1-0 Detroit. Bottom of the first now, Sox will tie it up. Jody Reed lines a shot just inside the left field line. Wade Boggs comes in to score from second. The game tied at 1. And that's the way it stands right now. Third inning action at Fenway Park in Boston. We'll update the National League West story in just a moment. The Atlanta Braves with 5 straight wins under their belt trying to catch the Los Angeles Dodgers. They are 1 back coming into action tonight. Second inning action. They are up 6-2 on the Reds. Back to the Sky Dome.
For the Blue Jays, can't quite figure out this Joe Gray guy. Up from the minors. He's had a few starts. In fact, this is his 10th start of the season. But he's retired the side in order in each of the first 3 innings. And the Angels have the lead on the night when the Blue Jays are supposed to party.
Joe Gray doesn't want anybody having a party tonight. 4 strikeouts. Retired 9 straight.
5 ground balls in the infield. Angels are back up here. Their cleanup hitter is the designated hitter, Dave Winfield, against Tom Candiotti. Ball squirts away to the backstop. 1 ball, no strikes. Winfield grounded out to end the first inning. He'll be 40 years old tomorrow.
This time before the game, he says, yeah, they laughed at my swing 2 nights ago when I hit that double. They didn't laugh last night when I hit that home run.
He left in a hurry on a line. 3-0. A leadoff walk cost Candiotti a run in the third. There's a strike, 3-1. Three-one pitch hammered up the middle for a base hit. The leadoff man is aboard in the 4th. There's the 3rd hit of the night for the Angels. A single for Dave Winfield.
Candiotti wanted to make Winfield earn it, so he gave him something out over the plate, something that he didn't expect him to pull. And takes it right back up the middle for a base hit.
So Lee Stevens will bat. Left-handed hitting first baseman. Winfield aboard, nobody out, a 1-0 Angel lead. Stevens waited for that. It's a fair ball on the line, down the right field line. Winfield held up at third base. Ball bounced out of play, and it's a double for Stevens. Second and third with nobody out for the Angels in the fourth.
Stevens is not a pull hitter, but he gets out ahead of this knuckleball from Candiotti and just keeps it foul. Have a look right on the foul line. Jim McKeeden, first place umpire, signals fair ball. It skips into the seats, ground rule double, and that saved the Blue Jays a run temporarily as Winfield had to stop at third.
Now Gary Gaetti, a man who's handled Candiotti well over the years, is up with runners at second and third, nobody out. Borders out to the mound. And a chance for a big inning for the Angels. Four hits. This is the first time the Angels have had them back-to-back, though, against Cito Gaston's Blue Jays. Here we go. Candiotti to Gaetti. Ball one. Two and oh. And here comes Galen Cisco, the pitching coach.
Every once in a while, when Candiotti gets in trouble with his knuckleball, sometimes he'll cock his wrist to the side. Galen will come out and ask him how that hand feels coming through, because that's when he runs into problem. He gets the same movement, but the ball moves laterally in and out of the strike zone. If he keeps his wrist upright, it will dance up and down within the boundaries of the strike zone.
I think they might be checking at this point to see if he's okay pushing off, and that's why he was nodding his head to say he was okay. If Galen Cisco asked him, are you hurting a bit? Can you push off properly?
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what he wanted to know as well. Go out there and see, are you holding back because of that foot? It appeared as though he reassured him that everything's okay.
Gaetti hammers the ball down the left field line. It's a fair ball. Winfield's in to score. Stevens in behind him. The ball's out of play. Gaetti's on second. And the California Angels have a 3-0 lead.
Gaetti, as we showed earlier, always has had a lot of success against Candiotti. He had the ability to sit back and really take a good rip at this with a count in his favor. 2 balls, no strikes. Keeps it fair just inside the line. It bounces out of play. Ground rule double. 2 RBIs. And the Angels are up by 3.
Still nobody out. Man on second base. Top of the 4th inning. Candiotti now to Dick Schofield, who doubled in the second. 5 hits, 4 of them for extra bases. 2 of them ground rule doubles. And again, Candiotti has started to hit her off with ball one. Bunted foul. Ball and a strike. One at Fenway Park. Tigers have a man on with 1 out. Pete Incaviglia at the plate. He hit the monster home run off Clemens last night. Even as we speak, we're told that Incaviglia just knocked in Skeeter Barnes. 2-1 Tigers. Ground ball from Schofield to John Olerud. Tags the bag at first for the first out as Gaetti advances to third base. There's the first out of the 4th inning. And catcher John Orton will bat with a man on third base and the infield in. Drifted up and into Orton. Ball one. All quiet in the pen behind him as Candiotti attempts to right himself here after giving up 3 straight hits to start the 4th. Here's the 1-0 to Orton. Swing and a miss. Strike one. 1-1.
This normally might be a situation that Buck Rogers would think about a squeeze play, but not when you face Tom Candiotti in the knuckleball, because you put so much pressure on the hitter to make contact with the runner bearing down.
Ball and a strike. Here comes the runner. Squeeze was on. Bunted foul by Orton. So the pressure was on the hitter.
Well, that's the important thing, to get a piece of it, protect that runner. Buck Rogers is going to break out all that National League style of play. He wants the insurance run. Gaetti, good timed break at third. Orton just fouled it off. Knuckleball, tough pitch to bunt. You know, you square around and have a good look at it. You just got to really follow it. Did a nice job just to foul it off.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss by Orton. And 2 away. Candiotti's first strikeout of the night.
And it's a dandy knuckleball. You can see Borders just flags it down. Orton swings and misses. Really had that one dancing.
Now he'll face the number 9 hitter, Kevin Flora, the second baseman. Gaetti at third base. 2 runs in, and a 3-0 California lead. Strike one to Flora. He walked and scored in the 3rd. One strike pitch. Strike 2.
And once again, this is the time of the game that you generally see Candiotti come around with that real good knuckleball, where he settles in, has a real good feel for it. He gets that best dancing knuckleball out.
0-2 pitch is inside. A ball and 2 strikes.
He's trying to vary his warm-up times so he would avoid a rocky start early in the game.
1-2. Hit on the ground. Alomar gets Flora. And that's all for the Angels. They got 2 runs on 3 hits, though, and have a 3-0 lead. This is Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN.
Try this, Baron. Child's play.
85 montre shape, picked by a man with 1 leg. Your turn.
The tea is Darjeeling, but the water's from a spring in Tibet. Your turn.
Ah, distinctive real cola taste. Diet Coke.
Close, but not close enough.
Caffeine-free Diet Coke. Great cola taste, no caffeine.
Here, help.
Just for the taste of it, Diet Coke.
Ihr spielt doch nur mit Frauen, ist doch klar.
Genau.
Ah, lass ihn doch, vielleicht mag er keine.
Naja, lass ihn doch.
Helmut,
steig ein.
ist das ein deutsches Auto?
Nein, Acura.
Presenting the 1992 Bigger. Engineering demanded that only a 5-cylinder engine would be right for this automobile. So we built it. Our latest expression of new world thinking.
Ist das ein deutsches Auto?
Nein. Acura.
Ah.
Play the new Walt Disney World Baseball Magic at A&T and Dominion. Win a trip for 2 to Orlando, Florida, home of Walt Disney World Resort. All trips provided by Canadian Holidays, a world of vacation. Or win $500 in Thomas Cook MasterCard Traveler's Check, the Texas Instruments 64K Organizer, Royal Dalton Everyday Dinnerware, or from Walters Jewelers a Longines Whitnauer watch. This week's features Black Diamond processed cheese food slices. And Maxwell House, always good to the last drop.
Benjamin Moore paint is sold on playgrounds.
If you want my advice, use Benjamin Moore.
And just about everywhere else.
At any color, they've got it.
Because our best salesmen...
It's the only paint I use.
...are the people who use us. See your Benjamin Moore dealer.
Bottom of the 4th inning at Skydome. It's 3-0 for the Angels. Blue Jays haven't been able to get a sniff off Joe Gray, who's retired 9 straight. All season long, though, their biggest inning, the inning in which they've scored the most runs, has been the 4th. Second time through the order. Let's see what they can do against this right-hander. Second time through tonight. Ball 1 to Devon White at the top of the order.
Well, this is the first time they've seen Joe Gray, so it takes them a while to realize his pitches. He throws a fastball, a cut fastball, good curveball, and a pretty effective changeup.
He's won 2 in a row, and he's been very stingy in his last 2 games. 2-0 to Devon White. They're getting back into it. Ground ball and an inside pitch. Lee Stevens handles it himself. 1 away. That settles the folks back into their seats as White sits down and Alomar's up. Six ground balls in the infield and 4 strikeouts for Joe Gray as he works to Roberto Alomar. Ball 1. Ball 2. Got 2-0 for the second time. He got White to ground out. '24-year-old Joe Gray. 3-0. Joe Carter, the big RBI man, with 107 on deck. Here's the 3-0 to Alomar. He walked him. Blue Jays have their first base runner with 1 out in the 4th. Carter's up with Alomar on. Roberto has stolen 52 bases. Just 1 back of league leader Ricky Henderson. Angels have been very good at throwing out base runners, particularly Parrish and Tingley. Ball 1 to Carter, and Orton's going out to try and settle Gray down, and the pitching coach Marcel Latchman's coming out as well. If Alomar should try and run, how does Orton compare with Parrish and Tingley?
Orton throws very well as well. I think Tingley throws the best out of them all. But he's on the shelf tonight sporting a black eye in a collision that he got into at the plate last night with Pat Borders. A little on-the-job training for Joe Gray from his pitching coach Marcel Latchman. John Orton, young catcher, out to sit in on it, see what they're trying to establish. They want to get him back ahead. He was having so much success going strike 1. And then he tried to be too fine and fell behind Alomar.
There goes Alomar. Carter hits the ball on the ground. Eats Gaetti up. First and second, 1 out.
Gaetti was looking to second base to see if he had a chance to rush a throw and get Alomar. He got ahead of himself. He was trying to see if he had a shot at turning 2. Routine grounder. Taylor made double play, but Alomar was running on the plate. Look at him look up to second. He was trying to see if Alomar was far enough away so he could rush a throw and get the force out.
Last night, 2 errors opened the door for a big inning for the Blue Jays in the 5th against the Angels. Tonight, an error, 2 men aboard. Olerud up. Inside pitch up in the air to left field. Polonia coming in makes the catch. 2 away. In on the hands of Olerud, and he popped it up to left field. Two on, 2 out. 2 on without the 8 of a hit. And now Kelly Gruber's up. (3-0) California. Alomar at second. Carter at first. Ball 1. Tigers have a 2-1 lead, bottom of the third inning. One ball, one strike to Gruber. Gruber grounded out to short in the second.
Hatchman likes what he sees from Gray. This needs to smooth out some rough edges.
Ground ball for Gaetti. He's got this one. Goes to second to force Carter. And that's all for the Blue Jays in the fourth. They got 2 on without a hit, but 2 were stranded by Joe Gray. We'll go to the fifth. 3-0 Angels. This is Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN.
What do you think you'd get in a 1992 Ford Tempo and Mercury Topaz?
I should know this.
Probably a manual transmission. Anything else? The 1992 Ford Tempo and Mercury Topaz. Now even more value for the money. The result of positive thinking.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Imagine visiting yourself in the future.
You're me. Surprise. Surprise. I'm beside myself. 23 years later. A few more gray hairs, I see. We've earned every one. We earn this lifestyle, too? How do we pay for all this? Freedom 55.
London Life's Freedom 55. Protection today, plus a financial plan that works, so one day you won't have to. Freedom 55, only from your London Life representative.
Here comes your future husband. I don't believe this.
In the art world, people can always smell a phony. That's why I use Right Guard Sport, the stick with maximum protection. As a great artiste once said, one should be remembered for inspiration, not perspiration odor. Right Guard Sport. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Stay tuned following tonight's game for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you by Apple Auto Glass.
Apple Auto Glass, the pick of the crop.
Before it spreads and really costs you, get Apple's guaranteed stone chip windshield repairs. Just call
Apple Auto Glass,
the pick of the crop.
Back to the top of the order for Tom Candiotti as he faces the Angels in the fifth inning. Luis Polonia is the leadoff hitter. He's grounded out twice to second base tonight. Ball one from Candiotti. Slashed away at the second pitch, a ball and a strike. Fouled into the seats. Has a strike, a ball and 2 strikes. See it was moving and Polonia jumped away from it. Now the 1-2. Up high, and he stayed alive, fouling it off. Defensive cut at it.
And it looks like Candiotti has got that knuckleball staying within the strike zone now. It's breaking up and down as opposed to in and out of the strike zone. So that'll force the Angel hitters to swing at it.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Who just missed 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fouled off.
You know, you got to give the umpires some credit too, because it's a very difficult pitch to hit, to catch, and to call for a strike. Timing is essential to calling balls and strikes, and a knuckleball not very good for your timing.
Polonia is doing a nice job of just staying alive, hanging in against Candiotti here, getting a piece of each pitch, fouling it off. 2-2.
These are the type of guys that can give Candiotti a lot of trouble because they stay back and just try to flick that bat at the ball. They can wait until it gets right in the strike zone. Wow. That was a nasty one. Started out over the plate. Jim Joyce had no swing on the pitch.
So the count's full. 3-2. Nobody out. This is the leadoff hitter. Angels 5th inning. They lead 3-0. There's a base hit for Polonia. Once again, the leadoff man is aboard for the California Angels. Their 6th hit of the night.
Good at bat for Polonia. He battled, fouled off some tough pitches, and went down and got a good pitch, bottom of the strike zone. So now Cito Gaston has to be worried about a possible stolen base attempt right here.
Polonia has stolen 48, but he's been caught 23 times. Caught last night by Pat Borders, and they picked him off. He's also been picked off twice by the Blue Jays in the last 2 series.
Well, Candiotti caught Polonia sleeping. He was just waltzing off the bag, looks down at the ground, and that cost him. Good quick tag by Olerud. Jim McKean right on top of it. He just took a little glance down at the ground, and that cost him.
That erases the leadoff single. 1 away, nobody on, and Max Venable up. Ball 1. Pulled foul by Venable. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Polonia's just had no luck at all trying to steal against the Blue Jays in the last 2 series these teams have played. Picked off a couple of times, caught stealing, hasn't been able to steal a base. 1 ball, 1 strike to Venable. Danny Lee up with the ground ball over to first. 2 away.
Well, that pickoff sure changes the complexion of the inning. Candiotti, nobody out. Venable at the plate, a guy that's hit him hard twice already tonight. Then he picks Polonia off. Now he gets the ground ball to short, and all of a sudden it has the makings of an easy inning.
Now 2 out, nobody on. No festive spirit there. Ball 1 to Junior Felix. Last time up, he really hit the ball hard right at Kelly Gruber, right into his glove. 2-0. Three and 0. Played well when he's played the Jays, just hasn't played enough for the Angels with all of his injuries. He's aboard now with 2 out. Candiotti's 2nd walk. That gets Dave Winfield to the plate. He singled and scored in the 4th. Winfield, although he has a hit tonight, hasn't had much success against Candiotti at all. Over the years, hitting under 200 against him. Felix is running. Borders with the throw. High throw, and Felix is safe with a stolen base. His 7th of the year.
Well, it's tough with a knuckleball pitcher on. Junior gets a late break. Candiotti already on his way to home. Watch Alomar now. He's going to go on into center field like the ball got away from him. But Felix won't go for it.
So a runner in scoring position for Winfield. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 out and a man on second base. 3-0 Angels, top of the 5th inning. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Missed inside, 2 balls and a strike. Tigers just coming to the plate, fourth inning, leading 2-1 in Boston. Walt Terrell and Joe Heskin. Candiotti looks to Felix, delivers to the plate. Comebacker. And that's all for the Angels in the fifth. A hit, a man stranded to the bottom of the fifth. 3-0 California. This is Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN.
Hey, I'm heading up to the cabin. Beer me.
Oh, some beers.
Get some chips. We'll wait here.
It's taking him so long.
Finally.
Thanks.
Whose turn to clean the cabin? Mine. Perfect.
Now you're laughing. Labatt's Blue.
Of all the Subarus built in the last 10 years, 93% are still on the road today. So when you're driving your 1992 Subaru Legacy in the year 2002, its competitors may seem a little square. The new 1992 Subaru Legacy, built to drive you into the 21st century.
Happy motoring, Canada. At Esso, we have a tradition of good service. We try hard to get you on your way.
Today, you can even serve yourself. And at Esso, we're still here to help.
We do little things like make sure the pump is ready when you are, keeping paper towels, clean water, and squeegees on hand, and even a warm smile to help you on your way.
Full serve or self-serve. At Esso, good service stands the test of time.
With Esso.
Do it right the first time with GE Silicones. Available at Canadian Tire.
Bottom of the fifth inning, and the Blue Jays need 3 runs off Joe Gray to get back into a tie here as Candy Maldonado leads off, hits the ball on the ground. Kevin Flores throws him out, 1 away. Another ground ball, and Gray hasn't given up 3 runs in his last 2 outings. Come a long way since his call-up. Fernando Valenzuela got a couple of starts for the Angels. It didn't work out, so they called Joe Gray up, made him the 5th starter, started him in Milwaukee one night, didn't get an out, and had given up 5 hits and 7 earned runs and was out of the ball game. And the Angels went to a 4-man rotation. He's much better now. Dave Parker. Strike 1. He struck out in the 3rd. Inside, ball 1, 1-1. Two balls and a strike to Parker. When he was up last year, Joe Gray said he couldn't get left-handed hitters out. He had a real problem with it, so he's come up with a cut fastball, and he saw him throw it to Dave Parker here. To the left-handed hitters, it's worked fairly well, but he's behind 3-1 now. Foul ball. Full count, 3-2.
Look at where Gaetti's positioned at third base, hugging the line. 3-run lead. I'm a bit surprised that he's not off the line more of a straightaway position.
3-2 pitch. Blue Jays have another base runner.
Buck Rogers may have a discussion with Joe Gray after the game about that pitch. 3-2 breaking ball. When you're ahead by 3 runs to start the situation here, gets himself in trouble after getting the first batter out.
Put it in play?
Put it in play.
Parker aboard for Pat Borders. Up and in, ball 1. A walk and an error in the fourth, and the Blue Jays got 2 aboard, but they stranded 2. Base runner here in the 5th, but they still don't have a hit off Joe Gray. Up and in again, 2-0.
There's a fine line between working quickly and rushing. And right now, Gray, in my mind, is rushing a bit. He's really ahead of himself. He's rushing his delivery. It's got him out of the strike zone.
2 on with 1 out. A second consecutive walk to the Blue Jays.
Another trip to the mound for the pitching coach, Marcel Latchman, trying to get Joe Gray to regroup, brings the catcher out. Always a learning process when you've got a young battery out there. Buck Rogers will go to the phone, get something working down in the bullpen. But Gray was breezing.
They'll get somebody up because Gray has not shown the Angels that he can go a long ways. They always run into a wall, 5th, 6th, maybe early in the 7th inning. 2 outings ago, he managed 9. Last time out, 5 1/3. Most of the time, he's been around 6. Here he is in the bottom of the 5th. 2 men on, 1 out, leading 3-0. Number 9 hitter Manny Lee's up. Lee showed bunt, ball 1.
Well, they're going to make Gray throw a strike. And he was taken all the way. Two straight walks, and now he's behind Manny Lee. Last 12 pitches, he's thrown 10 balls. Now a strike, 2-1. Parker at second, Borders at first. 1 out, bottom of the 5th. 3-1. Vito Gaston watching on television beside him if he wants to see that Scott Lewis and Scott Bales are both up. He's walked him full. Buck Rogers doesn't have a pitcher ready yet. So Gaetti came over to talk with Gray. I bet you Joe Gray would like to have that 3-2 slider back that he threw to Parker that led to the first walk in this 3-walk combination that has him up against the wall.
Devon White is up. 1 away. Bases loaded. Strike 1. White is 0 for 8 in this series. Hasn't driven in a run in 9 games. Here's a great opportunity for him to snap that streak. 1 strike pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Three to nothing Angels. The Blue Jays have to get something here. Gray stepped off, White stepped out.
Well, Gray gets a lot of ground balls when he can get it in the strike zone. The possibility of a double play always existed.
Line at Gaetti, can't make the catch. Parker's in to score. safe all around. Base hit and an RBI for White, and it's 3-1 Angels. Too hot to handle for Gary Gaetti.
Third time Devon faced Gray is the charm. He gets the sinking fastball down and away from him, hammers it right towards Gary Gaetti. Parker comes in. RBI for Devon White. Bases are still loaded. Just too hot to handle.
Roberto Alomar's up. Just one out. Bases loaded, ball one. Alomar's walked and grounded out. Borders at third, Lee at second. White at first. Gray on the mound, the 1-0 pitch. 2 balls, no strikes. 3 walks and a base hit. Two-0. Now Gray just can't find the strike zone at all. 3-0.
And it all started with a 3-2 slider because they had a no-hitter going.
Through a strike, 3 balls and 1 strike. 1 out, bases loaded, 1 run in. #107 RBIs in the on-deck circle. It's a 1-run ball game. Four walks in the inning, and it's 3-2 Angels. Here comes Buck Rogers.
This is what happens when you have a young pitcher on the mound and he forgot what the score was. When he walked Dave Parker with a 3-2 slider, the score was 3-0 with 1 out. That walk led to 4 others, sandwiched around a base hit, and he has to leave the ball game after being staked to a 3-run lead.
Quite remarkable. He retired the first 9 in order, and he leaves the game having given up just 1 hit. But he's walked 5, 4 in the 5th. The bases are loaded, just 1 out. And the right-hander Scott Lewis is coming into the ball game to face the Toronto Blue Jays. This pitching change is brought to you by the Industrial Tool Division of Black & Decker. No company builds better power tools for professionals.
From the Industrial Tool Division of Black & Decker, the 9.6-volt cordless Univolt with more torque than its leading competitor, plus an industrial strength bonus. This corded professional drill, free with every purchase. 2 for 1 from Black & Decker.
So Joe Gray's out of the ball game, and Scott Lewis, a right-hander who would also like to win a starter's job with the Angels for next season, is on in relief. He's on for the 3rd time in relief against the Toronto Blue Jays, so they've seen this man before.
Now they worked a 1/3 of an inning yesterday, got a strikeout. Prior to that, worked in Kansas City on Sunday, where he worked 2 innings of hitless relief and struck out 4. He's another one of these pitchers up from Edmonton and just trying to get comfortable in the big leagues. They like his selection of pitches. He has good movement, pretty good command, but like so many young pitchers coming in the big leagues, has a tendency to fall behind and get himself into hitter counts, where the hitter has the upper hand.
Bases are loaded, 1 away, and Scott Lewis is getting set to face Joe Carter. Out of town, 5th inning. Detroit hanging on to that 2-1 lead over Boston. And Detroit batting in the 5th. Well, things got rather quiet around here about the time the Angels made it 3-0. But everybody's back into it again. And Candiotti's right back in the ball game.
Well, Candiotti early in the ball game. Having trouble with his control. They have a couple of base hits, but now he's in a groove, and their Blue Jays are in a situation to put some big numbers on the board.
Ground ball, Schofield to Flora for one, down to first, double play. And with one pitch, Lewis gets the Angels out of the fifth, but the Blue Jays get 2 runs on a hit, and it's a 1-run ball game. This is Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN. Now another TSN update with Chris Sedens.
This update is brought to you by your local bottler of Coca-Cola Classic.
I'm sure the question on the minds of baseball fans across Canada right now is what's happening in the Red Sox game. The Red Sox playing host to the Detroit Tigers tonight at Fenway Park in Boston. Top of the third, score tied at 1. Pete Incaviglia singles to left center field. Skeeter Barnes comes in to score on the play. And with that, Detroit takes the lead 2-1. The Tigers have a chance to add to that lead with 2 out, bases loaded in the third. But Rich Rowland rounds out to short, ending the inning. And currently playing in the 5th inning at Fenway Park, Detroit up on Boston 2-1. Stay with us, more in a moment.
What some people won't do for the most refreshing taste on earth. Always keep plenty of Coca-Cola Classic on ice. You never know who'll drop in.
The Atlanta Braves hoping for their 6th straight win tonight as they take on the Cincinnati Reds, and of course trying to catch up with the Los Angeles Dodgers in the National League West Division. They are 1 back coming into action tonight. The Dodgers play later against San Diego. Atlanta up 6-2 in the 5th inning. Great news for Braves fans. Now back to the Sky Dome. Jim and Buck. Gentlemen.
1-run ball game here. The Blue Jays picked up 2 in their half of the 5th inning on just 1 hit. Joe Gray got wild, walked 4 in the inning, 5 in the game. The book's closed on him now. 4 in the 3rd inning. Just 1 hit, 2 runs, 4 strikeouts, and 5 walks. And with 1 pitch, Scott Lewis got the double play ball from Joe Carter. And the Angels maintain the lead as they come to the plate against Tom Candiotti in the 6th inning. Lee Stevens will lead it off. Big first baseman has a double, scored a run, and hit a fly ball to left. Ball 1 from Candiotti. Ball 2. Fly ball to left. Maldonado makes the catch, 1 out.
Candiotti'd like a quick inning right here, get back on the bench and let the offense go to work again. Let that momentum continue.
Gary Gaetti's had a rough time at third, an error, another ball that was sharply hit off his glove. At the plate, he has hit a 2-run double tonight. In his last at bat, in fact, so he's 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs. And behind 0-1 here. Inside, a ball and a strike. Two and 1. Jays had won 7 Candiati starts in a row until the last 2. There's another hit for Gaetti off Candiati. His second hit of the night. It's a 1-out single in the 6th.
Gaetti is really seeing the ball well out of Candiati's hand. You can see the location's not that bad down and away from him, but he's right on Candiati's knuckleball tonight.
Now a .349 hitter for his career against Candiati. So man on, 1 out, and Dick Schofield's up. He's doubled and grounded out to first. Strike 1. Lefty David Wells loosening up in the Blue Jays bullpen. One strike pitch. Foul. Schofield's 0-2. Candiati to Schofield. The 0-2 pitch drifted inside. A ball and 2 strikes. Gaetti on first, 1 out. Red Sox to the plate in the bottom of the 5th inning at Fenway Park, trailing 2-1. Three to 2 for the Angels over the Blue Jays here, top of the 6th inning. Angels have had base runners in every inning tonight. 1-2 with Gaetti running inside. Borders makes the throw. Gaetti's safe. A stolen base for Gary Gaetti.
Borders' good throw made it close. Watch the jump at first base. Gaetti, not a real speed merchant, but it's the good jump that gets him in there. Watch Manny Lee stay with this ball and put the tag on him. But he already had his right foot on the bag. Waters does a nice job of being patient, stays with that ball, gets his feet underneath him and unloads it. Ball's just a short hop. Manny Lee pulls it out. Watch this. Puts the glove on him.
Schofield fouls a pitch off and broke his bat in the process. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Buck Rogers decided he wants this team to run on this knuckleballer tonight. He's a former catcher. Knows how tough it is to dig out that ball and throw out base runners. So they've stolen 3 times. Polonia was picked off. Now there's a man on second base in a 1-run ball game with 1 out and to count 2-2.
Now Buck really knows firsthand about a knuckleball. He caught Eddie Fisher to the California Angels with a knuckleball, and he was a reliever to a hard knuckleball. So he knows what a burden it is on the catcher, concentrating to catch the ball initially and then to get a good grip on it and throw it. A lot of things have to happen in your favor to nail base runners.
2-2 to Schofield. Counts full. High fly ball. Devon White makes the catch in center, poised to throw the ball in as he did so, and that keeps Gaetti at second base. 2 away. After a big first inning and a slow one, things have really started to move along. Bottom of the 6th inning, Atlanta with a 3-run lead. Tom Glavine trying to win his 20th of the season for the Braves. Here, John Orton, the catcher's at the plate. Third baseman Gary Gaetti's out at second. 2 away. Fly ball. Maldonado running hard. gets to the ball and makes the catch, and that's all for the Angels in the 6th. They lead by a run. This is Labatt's Blue Jays Baseball on TSN.
For a name in electronics that works as hard and plays as hard as you, you're looking for Hitachi for exceptional performance.
The top 10 reasons to start outdoor cross-training. 10. Last beaver you saw was on a nickel. 9. Big fat guy at gym started wearing zebra skin tights. 8. No hot dog vendors. 7. Few animals have cellular phones. 6. Won't run into people you owe money to. 5. Produce section, not really nature. 4. After hour on stair climber, you're still on the same floor. 3. Want to see where toilet paper comes from. 2. Mr. Squirrel's zany sense of humor. And the #1 reason for outdoor cross-training, the new Air Moab from Nike.
I feel like I am making some small contribution to the big breakthroughs that are occurring in this field.
Helen Bowman is one of the many researchers funded in part by the makers of brand-name prescription medicine.
Neuroscientists are making vital breakthroughs in pain research and in Alzheimer's research and in spinal paralysis.
The brand-name pharmaceutical companies are a leading funder of all medical research in Canada.
This is important because it ensures that Canadian scientists remain key players in the global search for new cures.
Canada's brand-name pharmaceutical companies, bringing research to life.
Another pitching change here for Buck Rogers' California Angels. He'll go to left-hander Scott Bales, who has a dazzling 5-1 career record against the Toronto Blue Jays. This pitching change is brought to you by the Mutual Group, financial products, services, and expert advice for you.
Whatever changes you may be planning, or whatever surprises the future may hold, we'll be there to help with a full range of financial services and realistic advice. The Mutual Group and you, facing tomorrow together.
Scott Bales, a former teammate of Tom Candiotti's in Cleveland, is now into the ball game against him.
Scott Bales has done some starting throughout his career. Now he's used as a left-handed middleman. He's been on a roll. Now they're going against the Blue Jays. There's a career record, as Jim mentioned. 211 opponent's batting average this year. Big, sweeping, hard-breaking slider. Fairly tough on left-handed hitters. He also goes hard enough to get in their kitchen. So he'll run that fastball in on their hands and break the slider down and away from them.
Bales in against the left-handed hitting John Ulrich. Ball 1. Scott Lewis threw 1 pitch. Got the double play ball, and he's out of the ball game. Bales is the 3rd pitcher of the night, and the count's 2-0. Mark Eichhorn is the right-hander. Cliff Young, the left-hander. Working in the bullpen for the Angels. 3-0. Bales 3-0 pitch. Strike 3-1. And aboard. Leadoff walk to John Ulrich. Following tonight's game, we'll select the Labatt's Blue Player of the Game for the Angels on behalf of Weed Eater, powerful Weed Eater blowers and vacuums. They're easy to start, easy to use, and useful all year round. Weed Eater blowers and vacuums. A cash donation will be made to the Canadian Special Olympics on behalf of the Angels Player of the Game and Weed Eater. Buck Rogers went out to the mound with Ken Kaiser, the umpire, in tow.
Yeah, I think he went right to Kaiser because there may be a physical problem with Scott Bales. He alerted Ken Kaiser to it, wanted to check him, and now Ken Kaiser signaled to Cito Gaston that it wasn't a trip, so that indeed was what Rogers had on his mind. Kaiser waved off the trip to Cito Gaston. That tells Cito that it was an injury request that Buck Rogers had on his mind. wanted to go out there and see if Scott Bales was having a physical problem. Obviously, they were concerned about a previous problem when he got on the mound, so they were keeping a close eye on him.
Sixth Blue Jay walk of the night. Issued by Angel pitchers. Kelly Gruber swings at the first pitch, pops it way up in the air. Backpedaling is Schofield to shortstop, and he makes the catch, one away. Oldroot's back to first.
Kelly Gruber just hasn't been focused in here. Second half of September. Oldroot walks on a 3-1 pitch. He steps up there and swings at the first pitch out of the strike zone and pops up in shallow left field.
Now Candy Maldonado's up. One-run ball game. The Angels lead 3-2. They've been out hitting the Blue Jays 7-1 tonight. The Blue Jays have had lots of base runners lately because of walks. Ball one to Maldonado. '28-year-old Californian Scott Bales. Ball two. Rich Hacker, the third base coach, flashes signs. Two-0 pitch. Maldonado cranked it. Way back. Way back and gone. Home run. The only question was whether it would stay fair, and it did, and the Jays have the lead.
Pat Gillick has to feel pretty good about this home run right here. Candy Maldonado was a mid-season acquisition to add some punch from the right side, and timing is excellent.
His 12th homer of the season. His 7th as a Blue Jay, and it's 4-3 Toronto. Their 4th run came on their 2nd hit. Parker's up. He hits the ball hard to left center field. It's back near the wall, bounces off the wall, and Parker chugs into second base with a stand-up double. Mookie Wilson will come in to run for Dave Parker as Buck Rogers comes in looking for another pitcher.
Just like Candy Maldonado, Dave Parker has provided some pop for the Blue Jays.
There's a great acknowledgement from the fans here for Dave Parker, who's played in 13 games, just 37 at-bats for the Blue Jays. 12 hits, and after tonight, he may not play another home game for Toronto. Finished for this year. There'll be a new pitcher for the California Angels. Mark Eichhorn is on to work in the 6th inning. Toronto has the lead. It will be back to Skydome in a moment.
Presenting some of the 2,000 body parts you can clean with new Lever 2000 deodorant soap. Tough parts like those hard-working toes. Soft parts like the little divot under your nose. We do armpits, but we also do cheeks. That's cheeks. All without drying your skin like leading deodorant soaps, because new Lever 2000 has gentle skincare ingredients. You can even use it on baby parts, mama parts, and papa parts. New Lever 2000, a new deodorant soap that's better for your skin and all your 2,000 parts.
What do you think you'd get in a 1992 Ford Tempo and Mercury Topaz?
I should know this.
Probably a manual transmission.
Anything else? 1992 Ford Tempo and Mercury Topaz. Now even more value for the money. The results of positive thinking.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
When you think about it, few things these days help you get your stuff together, except Rubbermaid. Win the space race. Think organized. Think Rubbermaid.
Watch. Only one of these tape players will outlast the others. Duracell. The one that lasts.
Just as the lead has changed hands in Toronto, it has in Boston as well. The Red Sox have come from behind to take a 3-2 lead over the Tigers in the 5th inning. Now the Blue Jays are in a position to hold off the Angels and clinch with a win of their own. Their magic number is 1. They lead 4-3. Mark Eichhorn into the ball game. Former Blue Jay right-hander in against them now with Pat Borders at the plate. Mookie Wilson running for Dave Parker out at second base. 1 out, bottom of the 6th. Ball 1 to Borders. Four runs on just 3 hits. Eichhorn's 1-0 pitch. Inside. Went around, says Jim McKean at first base. A ball into strike. Eichhorn looks to Wilson. Ball and 2 strikes to Borders.
Eichhorn has really resurrected his career once again. He seems capable of doing that every 2 or 3 years, but this year he's gotten that changeup back again. He throws it with a split finger grip, submarine style, and he's really out in front of the hitters. He was batting just .211 on Eichhorn this year.
The 1-2 to Borders. Way outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. That really drifts outside, doesn't it?
That was that big sweeping slider, and it'll break upward because it's thrown from that submarine delivery. And then underneath him, that thing will sail.
Two and 2. Got it. There's the second out of the Blue Jays' 6th. The strikeout of Pat Borders by Mark Eichhorn.
Good location right here. He'd thrown him the sweeping slider outside, and he jams him with a fastball. It's not very hard. Maybe just in the low 80s, but the location is the key to the strikeout here.
So 2 out, man on second base. Borders sits down, and Manny leads up. Lee 0 for 1 with a walk. He was one of 4 Blue Jays who walked in the 5th inning. 2 of them scored. 2 more runs in the 6th, and it's 4-3 thanks to the 2-run home run by Candy Maldonado. One-0 pitch. Strike, 1-1. Tom Candiani now has a 4-3 lead. His first lead of the night. And all's quiet in the pen. Here's a ground ball. Stevens. Flips to Eichhorn. They don't get him. Wilson held at third base. Eichhorn wisely turned and threw the ball home. But Lee hustled down the line and beat it out. First and third with 2 away. Inning still alive.
Manny Lee has hustled down the line all year long, and right here it gets him a base hit. He just beats Mark Eichhorn to the bag. That's all there is to it. Good call by Jim McKean, the first base umpire, right on top of the play. Mookie Wilson running hard, rounds the bag. Now let's watch him. He knows it's going to be close there. Eichhorn does a good job to get the ball back to the catcher, John Orton, and keep Wilson at third.
An infield single for Manny Lee. Wilson's at third, Lee at first, Devon White. Singled off the glove of Gaetti in the fifth and drove in a run. His first RBI in the last 9, and he bunts foul. One strike.
White had the pitch he wanted. Down and away from him. He just had the bat at too much of an angle and went foul.
Eichhorn's one strike pitch to White. Foul ball. 0-2. Red Sox forged ahead, loaded the bases. Lions hit one to the wall, but Skeeter Barnes caught it to win the 5th, off to the 6th in Boston, with the Red Sox up by a run. Oh, 2 to White. He got him, and that's all for the Blue Jays in the 6th inning. But they got 2 runs on 3 hits. A 2-run home run by Maldonado has given the Jays the lead. This is Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN.
What do you think people are saying about the 1992 Escort?
I don't know.
One thing I can guarantee right now, if there were an award for most improved car, the Escort would take it, hands down.
One has to hope that the Ford Motor Company hasn't outsmarted itself and built a car too good to be appreciated.
The 1992 Escort. The results of positive thinking.
Yeah.
They say, never judge someone until you've walked a mile in his shoes. So I walked a mile of my own and came here, a new man. I live better, even eat better. And when I eat margarine, it's Fleischmann's.
Fleischmann's, cholesterol-free and low in saturated fat.
When I think of how I used to be, I wouldn't want to be in that man's shoes.
In making an artistic statement, one's personal aroma shouldn't do the talking. So I use Right Guard Sport, the stick with maximum protection. A true artiste should be known for inspiration, not perspiration odor. Right Guard Sport. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Welcome back to Toronto's Sky Dome, where the Blue Jays now have a 4-3 lead to the 7th inning, and Tom Candiotti back out on the mound. David Wells at the ready in the bullpen if needed. And strike one thrown to Kevin Flora, the number 9 hitter, the leadoff batter for the Angels in the 7th. Wells not throwing many pitches down there now. I think he's ready. One ball, one strike to Flora. Now 1-2. There have been runners in every inning against Candiotti. Gave up a run in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th. Been hit 7 times, 4 extra base hits. But he has the lead now. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Kevin Flora. Got it. 1 away.
Watch this floating knuckleball. Boy, he really drops the old Ephus pitch right here. Took a lot off. Flora couldn't pull the trigger. Only the second strikeout tonight. They're going to go right to David Wells.
Left-handed hitter Luis Polonia at the top of the order. Due up at the plate. And Galen Cisco out to the mound with David Wells, the left-handed pitcher, ready. Here comes Wells. But if this Blue Jay bullpen can hold it, Candiotti stands to be the winner in the clincher. He's had better nights, but I think they found out his foot's okay this evening.
And that's important, but he settled in, gave his offense a chance to get him back on top, and he leads with the lead with 1 out here in the 7th inning. Another good performance by Tom Candiotti.
They'll go to the left-handed reliever. The Blue Jays leading by a run, and we'll be back in just a moment.
The Arcot theory was unusual. Bridgestone engineers used the tire in motion to shape a new design. Result, compared to our proven conventional radials, more tire stays in contact with the road for sharper cornering and quicker stops. Bridgestone Arcot, taking the abstract to the concrete.
Enter the Bridgestone Performance Sweepstakes at your Bridgestone dealer, and you could win a Mazda Miata or a set of Bridgestone tires.
You've worked hard to set aside your savings. Now you should be looking for the best place to invest those savings, to turn them into something even more valuable. Canada Savings Bonds. They offer an attractive interest rate that's guaranteed for a full year, and you can cash them at any time. Turn your savings into a profitable investment with Canada Savings Bonds. Buy yours from October 17th to November